I met a gypsy.
One thing I wanted to touch on a little bit as well is you've been a lifer at KTM. Since you got off that RM80 that I watched you just destroy the world titles, you've been a lifer at KTM. What's it been like to only have the one brand and only... I mean, I could see it would make life so easy to just be on the one bike. But then there's also some challenges that come with that. So has it always been a goal to just stay on one brand? Have you ever come close to signing with a different team? Or has you just always been like, Red Bull KTM, this is where I'm at?
Nah, in the past I was definitely in talk with different teams. Recently, not yet. But next year's my contract year, and definitely, I know it's gonna be probably my last 2 or 3 year deal. Because like next year I'm 28, and then I'll sign for my age 29, 30, 31. So that will be my last contract, and it's a make or break. Even if I want to stay with KTM, that's gonna be my last contract, and if I want to change after next year is the year to do so. Right now, I'm happy with KTM, and they've given me everything I always requested for, and what was possible. So I'm very happy to have worked with them for 13 years, and they were always there for me. So, but I would not tell you today like, hey, I'll never change. I'm not married to KTM. I'm very happy with them. We have a good professional working relationship. They do what I expect from them. I do what they expect from me. And yeah, next year, 31st of December, my contract is up, and then I'm basically, I have options to go somewhere else. But for now, it's still far away. But next year around this time, it will be a heating moment.
Yeah, because I can see, I mean, dude, the thing that would make it kind of, again, to talk about Tomac, is like you look over the fence and you go, fuck, he did it. He was so dialed at Cowie and looked, I mean, he won so many races, he won so many championships, and then he kind of saw something and went, all right, that's what I want to get. I think that there was probably an element of wanting to go a certain direction with the bike, wanting to have a little bit more freedom that he didn't get. So, I mean, I don't think you have that issue at KTM. But, I mean, it's kind of... I feel like the Eli change and then the Anderson change has probably got everybody that's been on a manufacturer for a really long time being like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it could be a big motivation. I saw the Jason podcast, and he said, like, I was always with the same people, and then I got a fresh group of people, and it was really motivating me. So yeah, I've been with the same people for almost 13 years, and riders came, riders gone, mechanics came, mechanics gone, other people when I work with came and gone, but I always stayed there, So like after I seen with Eli, like that, he also said I needed a new motivation with being on Cowie since 2017 or 2016, I don't know exactly, to
16, I think.
2021. Yeah, so he's been like 5 years or something. 5 or 6 years, so he needed a change. And yeah, for me it's too early to say right now what I'm really looking forward to in 1.5 years from now. But yeah, to also for the industry, it would never be bad, for a rider to change. For example, for me, like Kaiser has been Honda, I've been KTM, Caroli been KTM, Prado been KTM, basically all their careers, or a lot of time of their careers. And it's always nice because, like, when I went to watch Anaheim, I was like really curious to see how Tomac was going to be on the Yamaha and how Anderson was going to be on the Cowie. Because, okay, you've seen some videos, but then when you get a big change, especially when Kenny went from Suzuki to Honda, everybody wanted to see how that would turn out. So, it could be something for the industry, which is it's maybe a good thing. Sometimes riders change their manufacturer. It's not like in football you have 200 clubs you can play for. It's basically there's only 5 brands or something. Gas, Husqvarna, KTM is kind of one group, and then you have that Yamaha, Cowie, and Honda, and then Suzuki's basically pulled out. I heard about Triumph maybe coming to US. In Europe you have another team called Beta, but it's not the best of bikes yet. So the problem is you just don't have a major group of players where you can work with. There's just a few manufacturers, and that's it.
Yeah. And I think too, I mean, you just don't seem like the kind of guy that needs that extra motivation, So you hear what Tomac said about it's a new challenge, it's a new motivation, or same with Ando. And I just don't think motivation's like ever been your a struggle for you, and it probably won't ever be a struggle for you. I just feel like you've got other shit going on that motivates you to win.
Nah, true, but same, I've been always working with the same group of people to maybe have a small change at one time. It can be positive, it can be negative. Right now, I'm super happy with KTM. They treated me very well always throughout my career, so I always had good deals. I had a great bike. I believe KTM is still a great bike right now, so it's I don't need that as a motivation. Just maybe at that time, when the time comes near, maybe next year I would take it like, okay, hey, new group of people, new bike, new motivation in that way. But right now, I'm happy where I am, and my main priority is now to get back healthy and to win next year. Next year, I'm on KTM 100% because it's my last year. Yeah, it's my contract still with KTM, and yeah, obviously at one point next year we need to consider and negotiate where we're gonna go in 23 and beyond. But we'll see.
Is it a distracting thing to deal with the whole contract talk in the industry? So Jack Miller's one of my best mates, and he's just gone through the whole switch to KTM. He actually wasn't even allowed to post about it or nothing. Like, everyone else has posted about it except him because of the whole contract, how it works. But I mean, there's just been contract talk after contract talk after contract talk. And then Ricciardo, same deal. I don't know if you follow, but he had a bad run at Monaco, and the season hasn't been what he would want. And then you get to this race at Monaco, and as soon as one guy says contract, the entire internet blew up with just people saying that McLaren's kicking him out, blah, blah, blah. How much as a rider does it fucking piss you off to just talk about contracts in the middle of a season?
Depending on your position. When you're finishing 7 every single weekend, you're just really begging for a ride. When you're winning, you're in the freaking hot seat, my man. Every team wants you. You can put down the price, what you're requesting. Okay, it needs to be reasonable and need to be acceptable. You cannot go in motocross and hey, I want 10 million. Or like in Formula 1 or MotoGP as a top guy. But you have prices, more or less. They change, they go up, they go down. But when you're winning, you're in the hot seat. When you're not winning and you're fighting for 10th place, you don't want to be in that position, because then first the big stars, they need to put their hand on paper somewhere, and then you go more down in the list. But throughout the years, I've always been, luckily, the higher fish of the list. Yeah. So next year is going to be an important year because a lot of contracts are going to be finished. Mine, I believe Prado in Europe, I believe Favre, Sewer. So a lot of contracts are going to be up. I believe Geiser is going to renew with Honda HSC. I don't know exactly. I just hear some rumors for 23, 24. I don't know if that's signed or it's not signed, but I don't really know where else
I heard him and Mitch are both signed again.
Yeah, but I believe, HSC is nothing without Geiser in Europe. They need Geiser. You don't have me, you don't have Prado, you don't have Renault, you don't have Favre, then you need Geiser. So, because all the other guys are still stuck, if HSC doesn't sign Tim, what are they gonna do without him? I mean, Mitchell's not gonna win a championship for them, so there's only Geiser who's able to win, and he's been in the hot seat. So, that's about it.
I think it's. I think that there's on the one side, it's like you can get that fresh change, and it would be pretty cool to see ride a different color. But then I think as well, KTM's probably one of the coolest companies in the world to be with. If you're a motocross rider, KTM probably is the coolest company, and I think that the way that they race every series in every single... I think that the only series that they haven't won is a MotoGP championship, which basically, I think that's probably where most of KTM's money's going at the moment, is to try and win that thing. But you're just with this crazy group of people like Pitt and that whole crew just want to win everything so bad. And I mean, that's pretty in line with your values. And then, you think about after racing, to just be able to be involved in that company and so tight with Red Bull. And it just seems like, I don't know, it just seems like a pretty dope place to retire and stay cool with. Like, Carmichael retired on a Suzuki, and then it just goes away. And then you kind of, there's nothing for Carmichael to really do in motocross at Suzuki. I think he's going to be with Triumph now. But, you know, like to stay involved and to stay with a brand, like if you talk about retiring at a brand, like KTM's probably the one to retire at.
Yeah, you know, they also need brand ambassadors at Kawi, at Yamaha, at other manufacturers as well. But KTM has been very good, you know. KTM have a lot of brand ambassadors. You have Joel Smets in Europe. You have now Caroli. Probably they have a few more, but yeah, like you said, a lot of the budget goes into MotoGP right now, and obviously this year the results of KTM in motocross unfortunately weren't the greatest. You know, they haven't won a Supercross championship. Lights not 450. They're probably not going to win a 450 outdoor championship. They're not going to win a 450 MXGP championship, most likely, with Kaiser being leading. They have highly chances on MX2. But regarding to a few years back, you know, they were dominating everything. But obviously they were at bad luck with me being injured, and yeah, just things just didn't click this year. You have those years you see with Mitch Payton in the beginning of the last decade in 2010. Everybody wanted to be on a Mitch Payton Kawasaki every weekend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a monster pro circuit guys. So it's normal. You cannot always win.
Yeah.
And I believe KTM still is most arguably maybe still the number one team, but just that bad luck, you know, like with me being injured, with Cooper Webb having some issues at the beginning of the year. You know, he wasn't his self, let's say. Then Eli going to Yamaha and being super, super fast, and Jason being super fast. You know, you can always win, but globally, I think, yeah, KTM is just a great team, and even if I would finish with KTM, then I can look back on a great career and working with it. Only one great brand. So any decision I'll make, I will support it. And I believe also if you would go to a brand like Kawi or Yamaha, they will also maybe look after you after your career. But definitely finishing with KTM after such a long time of 16 years is different than finishing with, like, for example, 3 years for Yamaha or Kawi or anything like that. So
100%.
It's different, you know. So but right now I'm super happy with KTM, and I think, yeah, this is something really early to talk about right now, but in a year from now, yeah, once again, it's going to be a hot topic for myself personally to decide what I'm going to do as my final contract.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.